Hey everybody, my name is La Precious and welcome to my channel, Reina Preciosa. So, today is not today, yesterday was my second day in Puerto Rico. I didn't do a video as fast as I did the first two videos because yesterday was like a really super busy day. So, day two, I went to this place called Anna's Cafe. Anna's Cafe is actually up the street and around the corner from my hotel that I'm staying in, which is called Dream Inn Puerto Rico. They have some really good food, very authentic. The atmosphere is nice. I believe it's owned by a husband and wife, and their son helps out there from time to time too, as well as other people. The first day that I went, which was the day before yesterday, there weren't a lot of people in there. It was a little quiet, and the service was nice and everything. What I had to eat that was an air conditioner that just turned on, so I'm going to talk a little louder. What I had to eat was asopao with chicken and rice, and then on the side I had tostones, which are like fried green plantains with mayo ketchup, which is a mix of ketchup and mayonnaise, and then for the dessert I had coconut flan. Now, the reason why I didn't really get too much to eat from being here in Puerto Rico, because I cook Puerto Rican food at home from time to time. I have friends that are Puerto Rican that cook Puerto Rican food for me, so a lot of the foods that was on the menu, I'm like, I pretty much had everything, so there's really nothing new for here for me to try except asopao. So I tried the asopao, it was good, and it was really nice. And just so you know, if you guys ever want to stay in Dream Inn Puerto Rico, they do give you a discount when you eat at when you eat at Anna's Cafe. And there's also another restaurant close by here, which is a cafe, and it's called Casalta. Now, Casalta is a very upscale bakery and restaurant. From looking at the menu on the outside looking in, instead of it being Puerto Rican based, it looks very Cuban based to me, because they eat like a lot of bread, a lot of sandwiches, a lot of little pastries that usually eat in like Latin cafes or bakeries, and coffee. I really wasn't that interested in it because for me being in Miami, I was on the Cuban side of Miami, so a lot of the food they had in there I already had. So I just pretty much passed it by and I just went to Anna's Cafe. Now, one thing I would recommend that you guys try, do go to Anna's Cafe, because the service is good, they're really nice and friendly, and the food is authentic. But if you guys have not had this drink, and one thing I found interesting was that even though Puerto Rico is in the Caribbean, and a lot of Caribbean countries do eat a lot of the same foods, I didn't know that Puerto Ricans, they had a lot of food similarities with Dominicans. Because when you go on Anna's Cafe and when you go to her menu, a lot of the food there is Dominican. Like, let's see, what did she have on there that was Dominican? Arroz con habichuelas, which is rice and red beans. And they had the popular drink called morir soñando, which means to die dreaming. The orange juice here, and they call it jugo de china, is very good. It tastes nothing like Florida orange juice, or the orange juice that we're used to drinking like from Walmart or from the other grocery stores. They have such a natural, creamy tasting orange juice here. Like when I went to Loiza yesterday, and I went to one of the restaurants there, and it was called, gosh, I forgot what it was called. It's a restaurant that's across the way from Mi Casita seafood restaurant, and I had like 2 drinks of orange juice. It was really good. They give you the pulp. It's not too pulpy, but it has like an orange cream taste to it. It's really good. So yeah, I had that. The tostones was good. The asopao. Now, one thing I will tell you about the asopao, which is a soup, they do give you a lot. I thought, the bowl, it was one of those bowls that looks big on the outside, but it's not as deep, so it gives you that illusion that it's a lot of soup. They give you a lot of soup, because I had to eat half of it for my lunch yesterday, and then the rest I had to eat half of it for my lunch the day before yesterday, and then the other half for breakfast for yesterday's breakfast. But other than that, the food was really good. So starting with yesterday, when I started my day out, on the first day I was here, I pretty much stayed in Cayo Loiza, which is in San Juan where my hotel is. I only went to the sea. I pretty much, got comfortable and got filled in with my hotel. Then I started going out on the town because when you go to Cayo Luisa, which is the area that I'm in right now, it's, and I'm gonna be honest, and this may sound rude to a lot of people, but it's the ghetto here. Because when you walk around the street corners, a lot of the businesses are closed. There is a lot of graffiti, but the thing I like about Puerto Rico's graffiti is that it's like that old school hip hop type of graffiti. It has like the different colors and the style and the designs, and I like urban areas, so I really do like the graffiti that's here. But you will see piles of trash like on the corners. Some of the businesses are a little run down, and the people here are friendly and whatnot. The houses are really colorful, but I would recommend do not walk the streets and do not walk in between alleys and corners or walkways or anywhere in this area past 6 o'clock, especially during daylight savings area, because even though there are street lights here, I've noticed a lot of them do not work and they're not on. So a lot of the streetways and the corners are like pitch black. So do not walk the streets around this area at night. Even if you have a friend, a dog, or anything, do not walk the streets here at night. And let's see, I've done so much, I have to go back through my pictures to see all that I did when I first got here. Let's see. So yeah, I pretty much went through San Juan when I first got here. And I'm gonna give you guys my Instagram name so you're able to see like everything that I saw. Okay. Trying to get you guys up to speed so I can remember everything that I saw while I was here. Okay, so I went to Anna's Cafe pretty much, and I just walked through the different streets. Like I said, they have a lot of graffiti, a lot of wall art, murals, and everything, and the houses are pretty because in the Caribbean, the popular style of a home is like a really tall two-story house or maybe a one-story house, and it's in a bright serene blue, pink, purple like colors, and the outlines will be white, and there'll be like Spanish tiles and gates and everything, so the houses look really pretty. So yeah, so that was pretty much all I did for the first day. I really didn't want to do too much because I have been on a plane for like the past 6 hours, and I didn't really get here until like 2 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock, and I didn't really check into my hotel until like 2:30ish or so, and there was so much that happened. You guys can see it all in my first video. So I want to talk about what I did yesterday. So since I will be leaving Puerto Rico today around 4 o'clock, I want to talk about what I did yesterday. So what I did yesterday was like my busiest day being here. The first thing that I did, I went to Isla Verde. Since I have a friend who's Puerto Rican and he lives in Miami, he told me that Isla Verde is known as one of the prettiest beaches. And it's also a beach reserve. It's a beach and a marine reserve. So that means that they have a lot of the plants there protected. They're really serious about protecting the marine and sea life that's there. And I have a video as well as pictures on my Instagram page about Isla Verde. Isla Verde in English, it means green island. And when you go there, there is a lot of greenery. The trees are green. The sand, one thing I will say about the sand is that it's very shelly. You'll see a lot of shells, and you will see a lot of sea moss that's like come up on the shore from the water. And the water is not that clear. It's not dirty and it's not murky. But due to it being a reserve, you guys know when there's a reserve area, They try their best to not do too much to it so they won't damage the beach or the marine life. But I will say the water is clean and the water does feel really nice on your skin. So you guys know how sometimes you visit beaches and it has like that hard, salty like feeling and it doesn't really feel good on your skin, and sometimes it makes you itch when you get out. The water in Isla Verde feels like cooling water, like relaxing water. Like as soon as you get it on your skin, it like refreshes you. Like that's what I really liked about it. And it leaves like a sweet memory on you too when you're like in the water, because it just feels so good and relaxing. I don't think that when I was in Hollywood, Miami, that the beach water there felt like that. So yeah, it felt really refreshing and purifying when I was in the water. The beach was very scarce. There was hardly anybody there. And I mean, it's pretty much a good thing because I like actually being on beaches kind of by myself and me and another person that's there, because crowded beaches, they're not fun. You know, you have to watch your surroundings. You know, a bunch of people are walking around. Sometimes you'll hit people when you're in the water. But Isla Verde was very nice. It was nice and pretty and beautiful. Isla Verde is behind a lot of hotels, because since this is Puerto Rico and a lot of people come here to vacation as well as to live and visit, you're going to see a lot of hotels along the coast. So when I call for my Uber, and Ubers here are very cheap, especially from Dream in Puerto Rico. The cheapest I've had to pay for a to and fro ride was $6. And that's cheap because I know when I go to places from my house it's like 15, and it's adding up to like $30 to and fro from my house. So you do save money here when you use your Ubers depending on where you go. Now I will say if you go further outside of San Juan and you get into the Carolina municipal, because Puerto Rico is divided into municipals, or kind of like states, where you'll have like Carolina, Loiza, and Piñones. And to us, you know, we have like North Carolina, South Carolina, whatnot. Those are states. But in Puerto Rico, they have like municipios, which are like regions that you can go to that have like its own cities. So Isla Verde is in the municipal of Carolina. The ride from here to there was, I want to say 30, because it was a little further out and we did have to get on the highway to get there, but it was still a cheap ride. So the next thing that I did yesterday was go to San Juan. Now when I went to San Juan, I actually came back and I changed my clothes, because I went there in my bathing suit to Isla Verde and then I came back, switched out of my clothes, and I pretty much went to San Juan as well as Old San Juan. One thing I will say was that the buildings there are a lot prettier. They're taller. They have balconies and the Puerto Rico flag. Whenever you ride through Puerto Rico, especially in the San Juan area, you're always going to see an ejected Puerto Rican flag. One thing I want to say about San Juan with the buildings is they're very pretty. They're tall, really colorful, and you will see a lot of live and active businesses. Now let me tell y'all about La Cafeteria Mallorca. La Cafeteria Mallorca is a cafe slash bakery that's a tourist attraction in San Juan. I went there because I watched a few videos about San Juan before coming here, so I know what to do and where to go. Mallorca is not always cracked up to be, because I got there, they had a lot of people there because it's a tourist attraction. They had a lot of people there, which I didn't like. I don't like going to places that's like super packed, but it is what it is. And I wanted some orange juice because I love the jugo de china here. They ran out of it, so I got limonada de país, which is lemonade of the country. And come to find out, it was just Minute Maid lemonade. I'm like, I'm paying what, $2-3 for something I could have got from the grocery store for like $1. And then I decided to get like a cookie, which was like a shortbread cookie that had like a lot of what do you call that, different color sprinkles. Yeah, sprinkles on it. It was hard and crumbly and tasteless. It hardly had any flavor to it, and I'm like, well, not my cup of tea. So yeah, so I just went ahead, I went there, didn't really like it, and I just decided to, you know, cross the street and to walk through the different stores and whatnot. A lot of the things in the San Juan area, the Mallorca is right in the area of El Moro, So if you want to go to El Moro from Mallorca, you'll be able to, but they do have different opening and closing hours. Yesterday, I didn't go because I just wanted to sightsee and everything because they said that El Moro wasn't going to open up till 1 o'clock. I got there like, what, 10, 11 o'clock? So I was pretty much there for about a good 2, 3 hours or so. I walked a good distance. I walked all the way past like the little center area in San Juan where they had their Three Kings Day celebration. I came here on Three Kings Day, but since I came so late and was getting settled, I missed it. But they still had like a lot of the statues and the fixtures for Three Kings Day. And I went to the store, and I'm gonna show you guys like all the stuff that I bought from the store. It's called Becky's Souvenirs, and the location is on 205 Calle Tanca, Viejo San Juan, San Juan. And now I'm going to show you what I bought. And she does speak English. Her husband, I believe, is Puerto Rican, but she's from Haiti. So when you go in there, and if you don't speak Spanish, that's fine. She speaks English, and she'll be able to speak with you and help out. She has tons of stuff. Like I would say, if you want like a lot of nice looking, good quality memorabilia from Puerto Rico, Anna's place is the way to go. Anna Souvenirs. So I bought this bracelet that has Puerto Rico on it with the Puerto Rican flag, and she had other bracelets as well, but this is the one that I wanted. I finally got some dolls. I've always wanted dolls from when I travel. Here's one of the dolls that I bought. I think the dolls were about $20 a piece. This was 16. And so this is pretty much how the doll looks. And I like the fact that the dolls were black because in Puerto Rico, you know, they consider everybody here to be Puerto Rican. But based on the experiences that I've had and the way that the people look here, you'll find people who are black, mixed, Spanish, a mix of both, Spanish and Native American, and everybody's nice to everybody. Like where I'm from in North Carolina, especially in Winston-Salem, we used to have nice people, but either all the nice people died or moved out. Now it's a bunch of mean muggers. People don't want to speak. They show favoritism, blah, blah, blah. But here, it's like you can walk past and like smile at somebody and they'll say hola. And then you could be eating something and people walk past and say buen provecho, which means enjoy your food. And they may not even know you. And, you know, people will be polite and make way for you. You can ask somebody a question and they'll respond back without attitude and everything. But I really like how these dolls are black because, like I just said, in Puerto Rico, they consider everybody here to be Puerto Rican, even though there are people here of different races. But we all know that being black in Latin America, it can be a touchy subject to touch on because a lot of Latins do not like expressing that they're black or that they have black ancestry or that there is a such thing as being a black Puerto Rican or a black Mexican. So I was really happy to see that they had black dolls that had like a natural black, you know, or brown texture to their skin. Because sometimes even in Latin America and other countries, they like to exaggerate black features where they'll have them be really, really dark skinned with big noses and big lips and protruding like breasts and butts and stuff. So it was really nice to see a, you know, black doll like this. And I got another doll, and I'm going to go back to the store today before I leave. And they call this a reversible Caribbean doll. And my friend said that this is how like the women dress during Sanse, which is a celebration that they have in Puerto Rico. On the back it says, I am a Caribbean reversible doll. Hopefully you guys can see that. Where it looks like that this way, and then when you flip it over and put the dress down, it's another doll. And I actually picked up one that had like a bright blue type of dress, and I put it back because I don't want to get two of the same dolls. But since I realized how it was reversible, I said, you know what, so let me go back and pick up that doll. So when I go back, I'm going to get the doll. Then I got these two postcards from there. I like one of the postcards they had. So you have this one with the different pictures from different places in Puerto Rico. A lot of these places look like mainly San Juan and El Yunque. I would like to go to El Yunque, but I won't be able to go today because my phone, unfortunately, has lost a lot of its data. And that's the worst thing, to be in another country with low data on your phone. You need an Uber because Ubers do run based on your internet availability. And so I got this one, which has like a lot of the Caribbean islands going in a line, and they have like the different things they're known for on here. You have like Haiti with the coffee cup, then you have Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and Barbados and St. Lucia. And I like how here they have like the different flags for the different countries. Now Haiti's flag, I don't know if that's an old flag or not, but that's not the one they recently have. You have Grenada, Cuba, Barbados, Bahamas, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Trinidad and Tobago. And these major islands right here are called the Great Antilles, and then you have the Lesser Antilles, which are like the tiny islands over here, as well as the Caribbean Sea. So that I really did like this. Then I bought a shirt. So here's a shirt that I bought. They had a lot of really nice, pretty shirts in there, as well as jerseys and dresses. I chose to get this one, even though it's probably a man's shirt. I don't care. I like it because it has boricua at the top, which is like a slang term that Puerto Ricans call themselves, the boricua. And then you have the flag, and then you have the tambales at the bottom, as well as the amuro fixture at the bottom, and the Borican symbol at the on the shoulder as well. So I really like that. Then another thing I like was that they had traditional Puerto Rican candy. Now this is something that I really like because when I get back home, I want to do a tasting video on traditional Puerto Rican candies. It says dulces típicos y tropicales, which means typical candies and tropical candies. And the candies that you see here are anjojoli coco jengibre, which is ginger coconut, gingerbread coconut, coco leche, milky coconut, coco melao, which is probably like a mellowed out coconut flavor, coco piña, coconut and pineapple, cremitas de coco, which means like little creams of coconut, dulce de coco, sweet coconut, Mampo Postial, I'm not sure what that is, Naranja orange, and Pilones. I'm not sure what that one is either. It says Pilones is a mixture of anise, which is a spice. And then you have the Mampo Postial is black sugar and dried coconut. So that should be good. So yes, I do have this, which I'm going to try at home. And I really want to keep the packaging. I'll probably do like a scrapbook and whatnot of that. And then I went to, let's see, that's not it. And I also got these wall pictures to put on my wall for when I get back home. And so I decided to go to their Walgreens just to get something to drink. Because when I was walking yesterday from all that traveling I did, I just wanted to go somewhere and get something to drink because the weather here for the past 2 days has been hot. It's been a combination of smuggy hot and then just hot, where when you walk outside you feel like the sun beaming down and it's just like hot. So after I went there, I decided to go to Loiza. I know I jumped from Walgreens to Loiza, but I forgot to add it in. So the reason why I wanted to go to Loiza, because Loiza is a municipal and it's a region that's predominantly black. It has the island's highest population of black people. And back in the day, before, when Puerto Rico was being founded, they said it was a place that they brought the slaves to try to ignore the fact that Puerto Rico had black people. So they would send the blacks over to Loiza, where they would have their own region and area to be in, where everybody else would have theirs. And when I went to Loiza, now one thing I will tell you about Loiza, Loiza is, it's a region and it's an area, but I know that online they have this place called Casa Afro, which is like a museum that talks to you about the African culture of Loiza. Do not go. Number one, it's in the middle of a neighborhood. People do live in this neighborhood and there are a bunch of houses. It's not safe to walk in, especially if you're by yourself. because there's a lot of openings to like the ocean, and then there's openings to like the woods and whatnot. And you do have dogs, because I did almost get chased by dogs when I was walking down the street from being disappointed that Casa Afro is closed and it's been closed for a really long time. And I wish they would update that, because I had to go to a lady's house next door and ask her, like, is it open and whatnot. She says no. She says it's been closed a while. She says you have people that come all the time, but it's been closed. So, because when I even went to the door, it's been closed for so long that there's cobwebs growing on the doorknobs, and you try to pull it and it's like locked, like locked. And I knocked, nobody came, nothing. So I think they need to update it, or at least provide some information about Casa Afro to see if they're going to be closed permanently, or if they're only open, for a while. Because I'm gonna be honest, it's not safe for somebody to go by themselves, whether it's during the day or in the middle of the day, because it is in a neighborhood, and it's the hood, honestly, because you can tell by the way the houses and the way that it's built up. And you do have restaurants that are further up, but walking distance, you would have to walk miles and miles like I did just to get to a very active place. So that was disappointing, because I did want to learn about Puerto Rico's African culture and about its African people. And one thing I can say is that there are black people there in Loiza, because when you went to the houses and walked past, that's all you saw was black Puerto Ricans. And so, yes, it is true that Puerto Rico does have black people, and they have a lot of black people, and it still exists and live in Loiza. So that was disappointing that I couldn't see, the museum about Loiza's African culture and whatnot. But at least I got to see Loiza like I wanted to. And I did eat at this seafood place, which was good. I had mofongo as well as a jugo de china, which is an orange juice. Mofongo is pretty much mashed green plantains mixed with garlic and pork rinds, and they put it in like a mortar. Once they grind it up and everything, they empty it out, and it has that mound look. And then I had it with lobster and shrimp with Creole sauce, and then a little bit of a salad. So that's what I ate when I was there. Then after that, I was finally able to get reception, because my data was low. So I got reception, and my Uber driver came and picked me up and took me to my hotel. I was gonna go back to Anna's souvenirs place, but I was walking around, still couldn't get any reception anywhere, so I decided to, walk around. And I decided to go to Walgreens. Now, that Walgreens here in Calle Loiza, San Juan, it's just like the one back home in the United States, but you will have Puerto Rican food as well as mainland American food, like the ice cream and the snacks and whatnot. Now, one thing I did pick up was a mami, which is like a traditional Puerto Rican coffee, because I know, like, what's the name of that coffee that everybody likes to eat off, to drink nowadays? It's called Cafe Bustelo. Yes, Cafe Bustelo is a popular Cuban coffee, and I've heard that Puerto Ricans enjoy drinking it too. But this one says the true flavor of Puerto Rican coffee. It's called Mami, and it says Cafe Molido, which is ground coffee. So this is pure coffee. So if you guys want to taste traditional Puerto Rican coffee, make sure you get a Mami coffee. And I've been trying to make tembleque. So you guys know I have a bakery business that I've been starting and working on. And I've made mainly Caribbean and Puerto Rican desserts. I've tried making tembleque, and every time I've tried, it looked like tembleque one minute, then it looked like arroz con leche the next minute. So I'm like, yeah, I don't think I need to make this anymore. So when I was in Walgreens, I found a tembleque mix box. So what I'm gonna do is when I get home, I'm gonna make some tembleque to see how it turns out and to see how it tastes. And let's see, what else did I buy? And I bought traditional Puerto Rican bread. Traditional Puerto Rican bread or sweet bread is called pan sobao. My friend from Miami, he's been telling me about this bread, and I decided to go ahead and buy it. They do have this in the loaf form, which is what I have, but they have it in like the bun form as well. So if you don't want a whole loaf of bread, you could just get like the little buns you can eat probably as like little sandwiches or like little burgers and whatnot. So let's see if I went over everything. So yes, I have gone over everything today. Unfortunately, I was not able to go to El Yunque. El Yunque is known as a national rainforest in Puerto Rico. They have a lot of flora, a lot of fauna, a lot of animal life there, as well as the coqui frog. I think that when I was here, I did at least get to hear the coqui frog, but I didn't get to see it. I've always wanted to see the coqui frog. The coqui frog is like a small little cute tree frog. It's about the size of like my thumb. That's how small it is. But they make a loud like coqui sound, and so that's something I wish I would have saw when I was here. But I do plan on going back to Puerto Rico. I'll probably come back this year, but hopefully they won't have any natural disasters like earthquakes and whatnot that they've been having here. That's another thing I want to talk to you guys about. So for the past 2 weeks, really, Puerto Rico has been experiencing some strong earthquakes. A week before I came, in the city of Guanica, which is in the lower left region of Puerto Rico, the island, they had a 5.0 magnitude earthquake. And the earthquakes have been strong as well as the aftershocks. Yesterday, when I was here, and even the day before yesterday, I felt a little bit of the earthquakes. The funny thing is, when I woke up yesterday, the bed was shaking so hard, I got up and I said, stop, out of my sleep, because I thought somebody was in here tapping my bed or shaking my bed. And I'm like, wait. I said, oh, that's the earthquakes. So the earthquake yesterday morning, it was not strong, but it was shaking. It was shaking my whole bed, and it knocked the power out a little bit here because my clock was blinking, and it was subtle. Then it stopped, and then when I was getting ready and whatnot, it was subtle. And then I remember sitting down, putting my makeup on. I believe I felt the aftershock and everything. Then when I started looking at the news, I saw the houses. A lot of the houses, yes, did crumble and they did crack. A lot of people's cars were crushed from the houses caving in and breaking apart. And yesterday I heard that in the city of Ponce, which is in the southeast part of the island, they experienced a 5.0 magnitude earthquake, and it broke up a lot of homes there as well. And it said one man died. There was an elderly man that was in his house, and a wall had caved in on him, and he died. So that was really unfortunate. And I remember when I was at the beach, I was talking to my grandma, and the funny thing was, my grandma asked me, she says, they don't have tsunamis there or whatever. I told her no, because I can't see Puerto Rico having tsunamis, because tsunamis, they usually happen in a twirling area. Because I know like in Southeast Asia, they have the monsoon season where it rains and rains for months on end. I know places like the Philippines and whatnot, they get a lot of tsunamis. But little did I know, when I was talking to my friend later on in the day, they said Puerto Rico was in a tsunami, scare. So I'm like, well, I guess a tsunami can happen here. So yesterday, I think was when they declared Puerto Rico to be in a state of emergency due to the not hurricanes, but the earthquakes, which they call temblores in Spanish is earthquakes. And so they pretty much were talking about that, the damage that was done. And it's really sad, and I really don't know why Puerto Rico is going through so much right now, because it was bad enough with Hurricane Maria and how that messed up a lot of places. And even walking through San Juan, you could tell that a lot of the businesses that were probably here and the houses that were probably here around the time probably left or probably shut down due to the damage and stuff from Hurricane Maria. But I will say that San Juan still looked good. The beaches still look very good. So it didn't look too bad while it was here. And I did see a video from a pastor that I follow. His name is Marcus. I'm sure you guys probably seen him. He's a light-skinned black man. that has like a beard, a little goatee, and he does a lot of videos. And he said he prophesied that Australia was going to have a lot of those forest fires, and it's sad that Australia is like burning up because a lot of the coastal like areas are in flames, so they're experiencing a lot. And he even prophesied that Puerto Rico would experience a lot of earthquakes. And I don't know why God just does things like this. I do know that we are living in the last stage, which means that people will become very evil and mean, and you will have a lot of diseases and earthquakes and whatnot that are happening. But it just seems like a lot of places are suffering a lot more than others are, and I just don't know why with Puerto Rico. I don't know why. I just have this connection with Puerto Rico. I'm happy to be here. I'm glad I'm here. I've always wanted to come to Puerto Rico and whatnot, but it's just sad that Puerto Rico is such a beautiful island, as well as the beaches and the people and the food and stuff, and they're just experiencing a lot of this. And I mean, a lot of these streets and houses and whatnot, it's going to cost them billions to repair. And not only that, a lot of people are leaving the island because yesterday they said a lot of Puerto Ricans were getting on planes and they were flying to places to like Florida as well as other places to get away because they're scared. They're scared that if they continue to stay here, hurricanes are going to either blow them away or the earthquakes are just going to break everything up and they're not going to have anything. So hopefully Puerto Rico can recover a lot stronger than it has before, and Puerto Rico can keep some of its people, because Puerto Rico now has about, I think, 3 million people, but I know in the past 10-15 years I know there were a whole lot more Puerto Ricans here that were native to Puerto Rico. But if you want to be safe and you want to maintain your livelihood as well as be alive, and you live in an island like this that's so susceptible to hurricanes and earthquakes, that's breaking up houses and causing more hardship than help, it's good to leave. So I hope you all like this video. Don't forget to like, leave a comment in the comment section, and have a good day.